intro's running. Yo, what's up, everyone? Episode 26 here, TGW. We got Brian, Tim back once again after last week after he had to suddenly leave.
Yeah, hey guys.
What's going on,
Just
Brian?
Don't mind me, my laptop's over here.
All right. I don't know what Brian's doing. But yeah, so we
It's morning time, man. I'm just like, oh, the actual stream is starting, so I better pull up my backdrop here, but you can see here I had problems loading it up on full screen.
yeah.
Like it just went like a quarter of the size. I'm like, all right, I'll just put that up. That'll do.
Someone already pointed out in chat. Yeah, no, Joanne. Sorry. We were hoping maybe next week, but she was busy this week, so we couldn't get her on. But maybe next week, so we'll see what happens. But we got Tim back at least.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, she's busy, so
Yeah.
hey man, you get busy.
So
You get busy.
So
speaking of busy,
yeah, do you want to tell us what happened last week? Yeah, before why you had to suddenly leave in the middle of the stream? We thought maybe you were dead or something.
so day before Thanksgiving, of course, my wife and I take the day off, working around the house a bunch of the morning. Wife decides to take a bath. All of a sudden, I hear screaming, about 80 gallons of water straight through the middle of the house. So I guess this is a new house to us. We've been here about 2 months. And there is some not to code plumbing between the second floor and the first floor, and too much water. And so we have 3 floors of our house without drywall, and we have big dehumidifiers everywhere, and it's super fun. But I ran upstairs to just like a waterfall down through the middle of our hallway, and it was going right over top of the furnace. And unfortunately, the electrical for the furnace is also the electrical that my computer's on.
Oh no!
So I was gonna jump back on, and when I ran to the fuse panel and threw the breaker, and we threw down a bunch of towels and stuff and started cleaning up the water. After about 10 minutes, I was like, "Oh, I'll jump back on," and then it was like, "Oh yeah, I can't." So,
Oh man!
that's what happened. So
Yeah.
I was running around, like, crap, where are all the towels?
So
Find the towels.
no electrical
Yes.
PC damage though, right?
No, luckily it went down through right over the furnace. Unfortunately, there was a 3D printer sitting there that paid the price, but other than that, nothing got destroyed. Just $1,000 3D printer. Yeah,
Well, I guess the lesson to be learned here is that, have a shower after Tech Gaming Weekly.
I guess. Well, it was my wife, not me. So,
I mean, yeah, you
can't
gotta
help
tell her, look.
yeah. But I
Gotta tell her it's
I
Tech
swear to
Gaming.
God, like I thought somebody was breaking into the house or something because I just heard her like screaming.
Yeah,
Hysterical.
we heard some. I remember that, we heard some.
Yeah, Brian thought you guys were having an argument because he heard the screaming. I was like, no, I don't think. I was like, I don't know. I don't think he'd be gone for the full show for an argument.
Yeah. No, it was bad news.
Yeah.
And the first thing she says, like as we're mopping up and like trying to get buckets under things, she's like, "I'm sorry about your show." It's like,
It's all good.
Stupid
You come back on next
house.
week.
yeah,
So-
stupid house. That's all I'm gonna say.
So yeah, before we go into any other personals for Brian and myself, we also have the giveaway up here, which we announced last week. The link is down below again for that. We've got loads of people already entering, but it's still running for another 22 days, giving away a full AMD PC build with an R9 390, AMD SSD, AMD FX 6300 CPU. Pretty good. Tim's got some of the stuff right there, and you're going to be building it before you ship it, right, Tim?
Yep.
Are you gonna
it
are
will
you gonna
be-
do a build video too?
Whole piece.
I am gonna do a build video.
All right, nice. So you're gonna have a build video of the build that you're gonna get from Tim. So that's pretty sweet. to
Yeah,
have.
and the winner needs to contact me before Timmy ships it so I can coerce you into giving me the 390.
And it's also worldwide, which is worth noting too.
I do want to point out that to get the R9 390, I actually had to win it at PDX Land.
Was it in a competitive scenario or just a drawing?
Yeah. Well, it was a drawing, but still,
Oh, it'd be better if you won it on a land. That'd be awesome. But it's still cool though. Still cool.
I can't win land games.
No.
Maybe if it was like World of Warcraft or something, but
There would have been there would have been some monstered up kids there, like
Any- any- yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna get the competition. Yeah, you can't beat them, man.
No, PDX Land, what they do is once a year, especially the one right before Thanksgiving, they actually you get tickets for every like certain amount that you donate to charity. So the Union Gospel mission, like there's a big food bank and a shelter. So
Have you guys ever seen a StarCraft Korean player on Monster or on energy drinks?
no,
Well, I've seen
Okay.
I've seen the tournaments, and I just always assume
It's-
they're all chasing Monster Energy drinks and Adderall.
Well, it's one of the world's wonders, man. Like you'll be like, what is this? Is this guy even human? You'll be seeing this mouse like, and the keyboard, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's going on here? It's like something out of a movie for a hacker or something. You know?
that's not. It's
He's
funny
playing
because
a video game.
back before esports was a big thing, like internet dial-up days, the original StarCraft. There was a while I was ranked in like the top 50, and used to play like off a stopwatch because that game was so like if you weren't doing this thing at like 7 seconds into the game, you were done.
Yeah,
And it's just like that's not fun, like at all. That is like I do not find that style of gaming fun at all. So I absolutely am horrible at gaming now. I just totally play for fun, as seen in my Fallout 4 gameplay, where my hit percentage on like shots is like 30%.
I'm enjoying playing Rainbow Six Siege a lot right now. I love the pacing of it because it's just slow enough, but then it gets fast when you need it, and you still have advantages of being a good Twitch shooter, but it also plays a big advantage to tactics. So you can also just as easily sneak around and get people from behind if you're good enough. So I love the pacing on that game. It's awesome. What about you? Been playing anything recently, Brian? Any new tech pickups or anything like that?
I got some more review samples came in from Lexar and Crucial. So Crucial finally sent me something again. I don't know why, but I got a BX 200, so I'm gonna review that. And I didn't know, but Lexar have been acquired by Micron. I didn't even know that.
Nice.
I think they have been acquired. I mean, I haven't checked up yet, but I've noticed my old memory card here doesn't say Micron on it, but the new ones do. So interesting acquisition there from Micron. But yeah, I'll be reviewing those and the Stony Edge. I'm still waiting on this dude to send me another audio interface thing so I can test the microphones out. And it's been like a week. I'm gonna have to message him today and be like, "Where's that thing?" So I want to get this mic review done.
Audio interface takes like a 3.5 millimeter input.
Yeah, so I got to get that in.
I wonder how much one of those
Test
are,
the
because I
mics.
could actually use one of those for that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to get it done. So they're pretty cheap.
I might look.
yeah.
Yeah, they're probably pretty cheap. I'm looking to get one.
Yeah.
As far as tech picks, I got this EVGA Z170 Stinger board. It's for the Land Syndicate, for the Land
You're a
Syndicate builds.
Stinger.
Yeah.
Stinger.
Okay, man.
Yeah,
Does it like beat up young kids? Is it that kind of stinger?
No, it's just I don't know. It's small as hell. The smallest motherboard I ever seen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We'll see how it is though, because I had problems with the FTW board. It had no USB 2.0 header, which was ridiculous.
Yep.
And this thing, I think, has a couple of little quirks about it. Also, I hope they like EVJ learns from it this generation and gets it sorted out the next one. Because I know you had problems with yours too. You had the Jacobing. I know the Jacobing happened.
Yeah, no. So that board's there's always something. This is the one thing with EVGA. Like the boards are pretty solid, right? Like
Performer wise, yeah.
performance
They
wise,
just
right?
missed
But there's
little things.
Yeah, there's always something weird, and it's like the X99 boards all have 90-degree connectors on them.
And
But it's
also
like
those RAMs.
almost
Isn't those RAM
but it-
slots really close to the top PCI slot too? Like almost too
No,
close?
they're right on it. You can't put you pretty much cannot put
A card with a backplate.
right. Or if you want to, my problem was if you wanted a cooler, like a large, a
tower
large
heatsink.
cooler, then you couldn't put it on because the first slot you just totally lost it. And if
Yeah.
you look at like every other motherboard, everybody has a 1X in the slot one, except EVGA, which has their primary 16X. Like what? But the 90-degree connectors on the X99 boards, the X99 boards are all like almost eATX, so they're huge, right? I mean, they're like that much bigger than every other motherboard. And what happens is if you want to put it in a case that has like grommets or anything, you're fucked. Like you just like you can't like. I mean, you better plug the cables in before you screw the motherboard down.
I hope they get it fixed out for the next generation because they're already like their power supplies and graphics cards are excellent. Like their power supplies especially are awesome. It's like way better.
Try an EVGA card.
It's like they're way better than I thought they would be. You know, like before them it was like Corsair was like big, and like then they started rolling out like the G2 series, and I was like, damn, those things are good from the super flower power ones or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I have a 980 Ti hybrid from EVGA, and that. Like I was super worried that the fan it comes with on all of anything like that is garbage. Like they're just super loud. It's you can hear the pumps, all that stuff. And that card is so quiet, and even like the stock fan that comes with it, I mean, it's just you can't even hear the thing. Nice. So, and it runs like a champ. Like that thing overclocks like a champ. So.
And what case did you put that in for your mini ITX? Was that the?
That's the I don't know, what is it? The Prodigy ITX.
Okay.
The Evo, the Fantex. There we go, Fantex.
Yeah, I'm looking to get the Silverstone, the RV, whatever, the 02.
Yeah, this is it's sitting down on the floor next to me. Why I'm looking over there, but it's an ITX case that's like an A or an MATX size.
Nice.
Because I put a 280 CPU cooler in there too, which I don't recommend to anybody, but. I'm going to call you out, man. Come on. I go to my first LAN. I build a computer. You want to play games or something?
I have.
Yeah, Joker's copying you, man. Just fess up, Joker.
No. Well, no.
He's going to build it before he gets here.
No. What Tim is getting onto is he thinks I should build it at the LAN.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's giving me shit for not building at the LAN, but I have.
I
have a far superior plan than that. And you'll see.
I would not recommend it to anybody. I spent the whole 3 days just building the machine.
Like, F that, man. You want to get the thing ready before you go so you can play games.
I will say this. I have plans to build this system, and it will be off location from here, but I cannot say where just yet. But that will be coming in 2016.
All right, well, I'm sorry to cut you boys short, but I'm sure there's people in the comments like they're having a spastic attack. Get on with the tech news, Brian. And Joe,
Brian, they want to hear all the tech talk. This is why they're here, man. The laid back, just conversation. That's what.
True that.
Shoot the shit, bro.
Okay. I already shot the shit.
I know you're feeling pretty serious in that Bill Cosby sweater. So let's move on to this. Just try to fight through the Bill Cosby a little bit.
That's it.
All right, so what's this? The first topic here, but the Crimson driver. You want to take this one, Brian?
Yeah, sure. AMD pushes the Crimson driver fan speed hotfix. So basically, they released the Crimson drivers, and there were a lot of reports of people having problems with the fans not going over 20%, even when they're playing games in the heat of battle. The cards just are getting really hot, and a lot of people have reported damaged GPUs because of this already. So this is actually not a good thing to release your new amazing driver pack and have people having problems like this. I mean, I would be absolutely pissed off if I had a graphics card that burnt out, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm going to say. I hope AMD are going to be replacing these things ASAP. That's just you're playing games, all of a sudden you load a new driver and then cards are gone.
I had a problem with this driver also because I tried to update it for the R9 380 and then it was having problems recognizing the card, and then when I even tried rolling back, it was having the problem again. So that's why I wasn't able to test it for the Just Cause 3 video. So I just kind of shelved it, and I got to work on it another time because I had other stuff to do and I had to get the video out. So I was having issues with it too. Didn't get a chance to have my card blow up though, thankfully.
I mean, this is not going to be directed at AMD specifically, but I kind of wonder about a lot of everything coming out nowadays in terms of the software and stuff like that. Like, we got games coming out that are broken, driver packs coming out that are broken. I mean, like, more beta testing, please. Like, isn't that why people pay dedicated people money to beta test? Like, especially on a scale like this with drivers and games.
Well, if I was to venture a guess, that the cases of this happening is probably less than 1%. It's probably really small, but it's enough for people to get pissed off about it.
Yeah, but I mean, so software testing, since I've done it for 20 years.
Yeah.
There's a huge shift in the industry to not employ testers. So
Yeah.
there used to be a category of employee that, STE or SDET, so software design engineer and test, or software
Yep.
test engineer. Most companies don't even have them anymore. So they're looking to their developers to do not only development, but testing. And coming from somebody that's, done testing for 20 years, software engineers are shitty testers. That's why test engineers exist. You
Yeah.
cannot debug your own code and have it be quality, because you wind up with blinders on. And more companies are going to this model, and Microsoft, included, where like, look at Windows, right? Hey, we're just gonna, push you Windows, and we're gonna collect a bunch of data from you, and we're gonna use that data to make bug fixes to Windows. Well, how's that working, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and but Nvidia and AMD are doing the same thing.
That's true.
Everybody's doing it, right? And the problem is, where this all started was Google and Amazon. And when you look at like a website, this kind of development works fine because you can do staggered deployments, and if it doesn't work, it's easy to roll a user back to a different version of the website. When you're talking about something like drivers, that's not the case, right? It's like, first of all, it's hundreds of megs, and then it's a large install, and you have the ability to basically like shit can somebody's PC. Right?
Yeah. That's exactly
So-
what happened. Worst case scenario, right?
Right. And the problem is, when VPs are looking at like the bottom line, the first thing they cut is like, why do we spend so much money on testing? We'll just push that off on our users.
Yeah, we'll
I'm,
cut
and
that
I'm
back.
just like dead serious, right? And what happens is you get this big flip flop in quality. So what'll happen is the driver quality is just going to keep going down until people basically, you got to vote with your pocketbook, right?
Yeah.
If AMD is putting out crappy drivers, yet their cards are cheap, that's you're paying for what you get, right? Although I will say both of them suck right now. But I just came up to
True statement.
The new driver for Just Cause came out for Nvidia, and it crashed my PC 3 times.
Damn.
Right on
Wow.
on install, and that's on Windows 8. Like, I can't even play Windows 10 for this.
Yeah,
So,
I had people having the drivers crash on Rainbow Six Siege specifically, but not their entire PC.
yeah, no, I tried to install it 3 times, and it just like blue screen my PC 3 times in a row.
Damn. Well, there you go. So, well, I think, I mean, honestly, though, what a lot of the companies have to realize that they're doing this is that they're costing themselves reputation, future sales, all the works. This is what happens with business. You have to spend money on beta testing because it's an element of releasing a quality product.
Yeah,
if you
and-
don't have that, it's going to cost you sales in the long run. I mean, this is like university year 1 business, like. Like, you have to do these kind of things. You have to get a quality product released because it's all about reputation, brand image.
And
So, I mean-
and Nvidia is not immune from this either. They had the issue recently with the G-Sync in their drivers where it was just completely ruined, and you had to go. They had the Hotfix driver come out for that, just because they
But I mean,
completely
at the
bricked
end of the
performance.
day,
And I was
though-
looking at SLI as the issue, and it turned out it was all G-Sync. It was like making just the game's not scale at all.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, a driver update from Nvidia ain't frying your cards at the worst, at the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're
I'd
not.
say that this
they're not.
is
It's not to
pretty
say that they
bad,
can't do
so-
it though. Anyone.
I know,
it
of course,
could happen anywhere.
anyone's possible.
And when
It could
you're handing
happen
over that much control to such a powerful piece of hardware, it can happen.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, there's not a lot of good that can come out of this article, except that I would like to see companies change for the better and actually start employing beta testers again, or having longer beta testing phases where they, have independent beta testers that can say, okay, this and that. I mean, look, it said here in the article, Eric Fairs from Tech of the Tomorrow, he said it was mainly a Windows 10 problem. So, I mean, I'm sure he only tested that over a couple of days. Like, it only took him a couple of days to probably find that. So, I mean, I'm surprised. So this actually happened to a big tech tuber. So,
Oh yeah, it usually doesn't take that long to figure out. Like the other day, what was it? It was Rainbow Six Siege in the beta. I was having problems getting SLI to work. So I opened up NVIDIA Inspectors. I looked at the profiles. I realized it was looking at the wrong executable. Fixed it. I was like, there you go. That's all you guys had to do was change the executable. They couldn't have sorted that out because it was using the same one as the original Rainbow Six. They just called it Rainbow6.exe.
okay.
It's like, no, that's not going to line up with anything else at all.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we want to move on to the next piece of news here. AMD Radeon R9 Fury X2 Gemini. So apparently it's paper launching, according to WCCF Tech. Now, we all know WCCF Tech, the whole sold argument comes in, so take it with a grain of salt. Microscopic.
A shovel of salt.
Yeah, the smallest particle of salt that's possible. But yeah, take it with that. And they're saying they have concrete data. So they're saying they got concrete data. That's probably word on the block. Do you reckon? Or
I don't know. It's. I mean, I think a long enough time has gone since the Furies came out in June, and being right before the holidays, I think it seems like a good time for it to launch.
Yeah.
Especially if they maybe do a price drop on the Fury and the Fury X to match up with it, since the Nvidia is getting a price drop pretty soon. Although it's not looking like the case right now. At least we don't have any proof of that. But I would hope there would be a price drop.
a lot of people love the. Oh, sorry. You go.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, well, so a lot of people love that 295 X2. That was a really big hit. That was a good card.
Especially when that got the price drop, and you can get those for like $650, $700 for a dual GPU card that powerful.
Yeah, so there's definitely demand there for the X2 cards. I would, and so I just wouldn't like to see them paper launch. I don't know what paper launch. I don't know the purpose it serves. Like, is it just to get people hyped up, or pre-ordering, or what? I
think it's in
for investors.
Yeah, I think it's two things. I think it's investors, but I also think you're looking at a lot of rumors and leaks are starting to come out about Pascal. So
yeah, that's looking like a spring release.
Yeah, so AMD has historically, anytime Nvidia says anything about boo, AMD's got some paper thing, hey, look at us, don't forget about us, we're the little brother, look at us, right?
They also always overpromise in those situations, I find.
Yeah. Well, that's AMD.
Like they're like, hey, here's our benchmarks that we ran on our own cards that aren't going to actually be out until the end of the month with an official driver at the end of the month. But here's our numbers, and by the way, it's just edging out the top Nvidia card and everything by like one frame exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what happened with the Fury X, and it was just like that's not really the case. It was winning some games, but not most of them. Not against the 980 Ti.
Yeah, well, I think one of the biggest problems right now is you look at the Fury, for example. You look at the Fury to the 980, and you look at how those were released. This is the biggest problem, right? Nvidia released the 980, then they released the 980 Ti. AMD released the Fury X, then they released the Fury. And it's like, the Fury's just in that price bracket where no one's buying it, really. Not many people are buying it. And same with the 980 now. 980, like, you're either getting a 970 or you're getting a 980 Ti. And that's the problem. They should have been fast enough to market to release the Fury and then release the Fury.
The Furies did sell out at launch. They did sell out. So
yeah, but that's because no one could get a Fury X.
The Fury X is sold out too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No one got a Fury X, so they're like, we'll get a Fury. It's the only reason. So
the other thing that the thing I didn't like was this whole we're gonna it's the little brother complex. Like seriously is. So, you have the Titans, right? So AMD goes, we have to have our top card has to be named something, right? Instead of historically, like the 390 is the top, or the 290 is the top, or the 7990 is the top, right?
Yeah.
Like they've broken their naming scheme, and it doesn't, I think for the average consumer that doesn't pay a lot of attention, they're like, what are these Fury things? What? I don't want to, I don't want to deal with whatever. I'll just buy the top Nvidia card that I know which one I want.
Yeah.
And it's the whole marketing thing. It's like AMD has gone from, good quality, fast cards to everything's trying to be a marketing spin for them now rather than, let's just let the cards do the talking and the price.
Yeah. That's true.
Instead of that, it's a lot of they like to tease Nvidia all the time about any little thing they do. They're trying to ooh, it's a Fury or Fury X or Fury X2 or whatever. The other thing that my big problem with AMD lately is try to get a fucking eval card out of them. Good luck, man. I mean.
Basically, everyone's sitting by waiting for MSI and Sapphire. Like, hey, can we get something to check out here?
Yeah,
I'm dying to get an R9 390. So
unless you're Linus, or you're
unless you're Linus, and they sent him 4 Fury X's.
Well, you got to be. Really? It seemed like everyone that got them was kind of working with them at least at their launch. They went to their launch event. They were there covering that. Like I know Dimitri went to that and he got to cover it at launch, but that's a lot of work going into that to cover a card. So,
well, and that's you guys probably covered this, but when like some of the AMD executives were putting their foot in their mouth over review samples, I've definitely experienced the same thing. Where if you've said anything bad about AMD in the last year, you're not getting review samples right now.
Well, that's me and Joga. We're crossed off the list, blacklisted.
Well, I know, but the point is, I mean, like, if I'm the marketing person, I want to go out to those people and be like, what do we need to do to be better, right? We want to send you cards and like, don't make a video, just tell us what you think, right? Yeah. I mean, aren't your critics the ones that you want to go figure out like why they like it? That's the whole thing. Like the whole AMD Team Red is always the thing that bugs me, right? It's like,
well, that's why I'm dying for an i9 390. I mean, I'm just dying to get one so I can really put it head to head with my 970.
The Team Red thing definitely bothers me when I see it on social media and they try to be part of objective conversations and they have like an AMD badge across their profile picture. And I'm just like, I can't really take what you say seriously. It's like, I'm sorry, like, yes, I'm running NVIDIA, but I'm not running around with, like, an NVIDIA hat on with an NVIDIA book bag and, like, a big NVIDIA green eye across my profile picture. Like, I'm not that NVIDIA. It's like, so you can see why I might think that you are kind of one-sided here, and you're not going to really look at all the facts objectively.
Yeah. I mean, I run, my big water-cooled PC has 2 R9 290s in it. And, like, that card is still, like, man, if you run that thing in Crossfire, just go buy 2 of those. Like run them in Crossfire, water cool them because they're 1,000,000 degrees. But I'll put my system, for price per money, price per
performance per dollar.
Performance per dollar. Thank you. That's the words I'm looking for. Words hard.
Damn.
Speaking hard. I will put that machine up against anybody, like value wise. Right, because I can on liquid cooling, I can overclock the crap out of those cards and over voltage them, and they just kick ass, right? But you have to. I mean, that's the problem with those cards. They're so power hungry and they're so hot that if you don't liquid cool them, which is like another $200 for the 2 cards, then you just don't get the performance out of them that you need, right? I mean, at least that I need. The only thing that kills me is like anytime I use After Effects, there's still a huge gap between OpenGL and OpenCL and CUDA. Yeah. Right. So like when when I render something on that machine, which is, 2 cards running at like 14 megahertz, 1400 megahertz, it's still like twice as long as my 980 Ti to render something in After Effects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so, CUDA and works really well with Adobe. That's pretty much.
I have trouble trying to use CUDA with Vegas. It crashes Vegas on me. My old computer blue.
You gotta get on Adobe, man. Get off Vegas.
I'm used to Vegas. I've been trying to use it, and I don't want to learn it. It just seems
it's boss.
There's certain things that aren't intuitive to me. It's like if I want to zoom in on the timeline, how do I zoom in on the timeline? I can't just mouse scroll wheel. Do I have to hold something with that? Because I just want to zoom in on the timeline.
They have to go, I don't know. Yeah.
The little arrow and zoom it in.
I want to be able to use my scroll wheel.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, next topic.
We did
AMD's price drops. Okay, yeah, we better start banging through these topics, ladies and gents.
I got the next topic up. We got some dense
Radeon
topics.
graphics card price drop was not AMD's doing. So now AMD have dropped the prices of cards. Well, apparently the retailers have dropped the price on the AMD cards. Now this is coinciding with the Christmas sale time, and it's a good time to pick up a card. I mean, I definitely would like to get an R9 Fury X for $569. It's not bad. You've also got I would like to see an R9 390 price drop, but since the GDX, well, we'll talk about that soon.
If that got a price drop to $299, it'd be so competitive with the 970.
It would be like this. These are your sweet spot cards.
The 970 is getting that price drop, so they better.
Yeah. So we'll just move on to the next topic too. Nvidia prepares new pricing for the GDX 9 series on that note. Now, this again has been the prices have been reduced for the holiday period here. So we've got the 970 coming in at $299, like retail. Damn. Now I hope these prices, as I said, both these prices from AMD and Nvidia go worldwide. I mean, I've noticed this. Whenever I see price drops, it's like America only. Everywhere, still in the rest of the world gets stiffed. Gets shafted. So, I mean, Sony definitely did a good thing with the PlayStation 4 in Japan. They're like, hey, we're dropping the price. And then America followed suit. But I would like to see this, worldwide. That's just my only complaint about it all.
Yeah, it should.
What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, it should definitely be worldwide. And also, just wanted to say thank you to Brandon the Gamer for his support in the channel. And you have a good Christmas, also, man. But yeah, speaking of Christmas, like the prices on these for Christmas, like that's pretty good. Like hopefully some people can get like a 970. $300. That's a good price for that card. And like if we I was saying, if we saw the 390 at that price also, really competitive, you get 8 gigabytes of video memory, that'd be ridiculous.
Well, I'd like if it came down cheap enough for Christmas, I'd be picking one up in Japan because I've been dying to get my hands on an R9 390.
Oh yeah, if an R9 390 was 300 even, I would probably grab one. I would probably grab one.
By the way, win one in our contest.
Yeah, there you go.
Just the odds are like 1 to 1,000. I'm gonna bank on that, man.
Tim, the contest shill that contest. Get it in there.
But, that's the thing. That's a good thing though. Someone is going to win a new gaming PC. Like someone's gonna be lucky. That's bottom line.
I will say that the 970 for $300, that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah,
even with the 3.5 gigs of memory.
Honestly, it's I don't know. My 970 pushes 4 gigs in a lot of games and it performs absolutely fine.
Yeah,
and
once you get up to that top, and
the super clock card, like, and if you can get any card and super clock it yourself, 970s overclock amazingly well. If you get one of those up to like 1450 plus, that's just butter, man. 1080 that is 1080p 60 frames of butter.
It's actually funny because I started playing Crysis 3 and at 4K that game looks so damn good. Now I was turning a few settings down. Obviously I can't just max Crysis 3 at freaking 4K, but
game is ridiculous.
I noticed with this blend that I had going on of like high and SMA 1 speed and stuff like that, it was 60 FPS. My graphics card was like 100% on overclock. It was just like, on average, 60 FPS. It just looks so damn good. And I'm like, this is how games should be optimized, right? Now, I know a 970 with, a good blend of settings at 1440p can play perfectly fine at like 60 FPS. So I'd like to see like a lot more of these games, especially with DX12 around the corner. There's definitely no excuse for releasing these like crap games where they just run like trash. They look like trash and they run like trash. So, I mean, Crysis 4 is actually a decent game that runs well once you drop some of the settings down. I was surprised. It looked really good, really fluid, and it was like, oh my God, I'd even post a picture of it.
That's one of those games that I feel also needs like an i7 because I had a lot of trouble running that on my old i5 rig. But once I got an i7 and it just runs.
I don't know how you have so many troubles on your i5, man. I've got the 6600K here. I haven't run into one legitimate problem.
You know what? I will actually test it this week on that i5 and let you know. But it was on my 3570K with the with my old 780s, and I had trouble running that game maxed out. It would just really
780, 780 and SLI, you might run it at 1080p.
Yeah, it depended on the area. Like there was particularly like right early on in the game after you get out into the city, there's a lot of big grassy area, and it seemed like the physics of that tall grass there was really raping the CPU. It was like at 90% plus usage, and the frames would just tank down to 40 FPS, and the graphics cards weren't getting pushed all the way. So
yeah, two 780s at 1080p.
It was that one scene specifically.
Yeah, well, two 780s overclocked at 1080p will, in some situations, do that to a 4-core. Yeah. So, but yeah, you want to say anything, Tim, before we move on?
On the price drop for Nvidia, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just looking at Newegg, and it's like there's some 980 Ti's on here for like $600.
Yeah, well, actually, the cheapest one I saw was the MSI. It's the black and white one. It's $590, and then there's also a $30 rebate, so it's $560 for a 980 Ti. Yeah, that's the best deal I've seen, and that's on Newegg, an MSI 980 Ti.
Is the Fury X also cheap?
Well, my preference is EVGA for Nvidia cards personally, but there's a gigabyte on here, 980 Ti for $599. I mean and it's the 3-fan cooler too, so it's not like
the G1.
Some stock. Yeah, and it comes with a game.
Yeah, what do you get? You get Siege or Syndicate, right?
Yeah.
I'll get Siege on that. Siege is awesome.
And do we want to talk about this rumor now too? Well, we'll go on to the rumor because time is like kind of digging in here. It's like it's grown. We gotta take care of all the topics. So Nvidia might be launching a 960 Ti. So again, kind of like a rumor thing, but I think with the recent release of the 380X, they might do it. Like it's a possibility, but then again, with the price drop of the GDX 970, and they already got the 960 there, they might just leave that price bracket empty. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Why?
Yeah, it seems.
I mean-
it seems a little late to the party. It feels like
Yeah.
it feels like the last thing
That's
they're
it,
just
yeah.
trying to really stretch it out. Like
Yeah.
they're just like about to launch Pascal. Like this is just late in the life cycle.
Although that's what they did with that
Pascal's
750
still a few
Ti.
months. Still a good, 5 months away, Pascal, yeah?
Something like that, probably. Probably.
Yeah, but,
I'm thinking they're shooting for April or May release.
I mean, yeah, well, something like this could come out. Like, I think it's a high possibility. Like, and it would do pretty well, especially if it comes out, right now, next week.
Yeah.
So,
I think it depends on binning, right? It depends on how much, because the chips maybe they don't qualify for a 970, right? And they don't want to put them in a 660 because they're too good. So then that's when you wind up with these TIs, right? Because you have these chips that have been just not good enough for a 970, but they're too good for a 960. So what do you do with all these chips, right? So I think that's when you see the TIs come out.
yeah, that's true.
I don't, because it's probably going to be on the same board as one of the two, right? So it's probably just chip binning, and you're going to use the same coolers and the same RAM and the same layout and circuit design. It's just like a slightly better chip that has more cores enabled. So I could see them doing it.
Well, with the 970 this time, though, they did disable 2 clusters instead of 1. With for instance, the 670 to the 680, I thought it was only 1 cluster there. They've disabled 2 to probably account for that. Yeah. Not just in the price performance, but also in the binning process as well. So I think, I don't know, I think this might not even come out. I'm going to say it's probably a strong possibility that 960 Ti might not even come out. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you did have that 750 Ti, right?
Yeah, there's also the 750, the Maxwell 2.0 treatment. Also,
Yeah, so they're giving
it's another interesting entry to add into this also late in the life cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting...
Well, especially with the 950 already out there. I mean, I would have thought they'd just release a 940, GDX 940 or something.
Yep.
Basically on the same 750. I mean, are they just re-releasing the 750?
It's getting a different chip. It's getting the GM206 150A1.
Yeah.
So it's getting getting a different die there.
It's just, I wonder what they're going to call it, because, if it has the same name, people are going to be like, huh? Scratching their heads. Which one am I getting here? So, I mean, I think a new name would be appropriate as well.
Maybe.
Just saying. Yeah. So, but it's nothing big. I mean, it'll be good news for people who want to get little mini ITX rigs or even home theater PCs and record. The main thing is that encoder there, so it supports resolutions of 1440p, 60 FPS, and 4K as well. So instead of just 1080p, so it could be really good in home theater applications for using shadow play. I think that's the main thing to come out of that.
Yeah, if you need some small form factor for that, definitely it should do the job.
Because it's not going to be demanding, just to capture your desktop.
Yeah, and you can
Obviously, you wouldn't want to.
I'm sure you could rock out to some Half-Life and Portal 2 on there. CS:GO.
Yeah, but you're not going to boot up Crysis 3 at 4K. The 750 can do this, guys. Don't worry.
But it can run some Source Engine stuff there. You'd be all right.
You can run some old school stuff.
You could run some GAMs. Run a few
That's
GAMs.
It.
Yep.
That's it.
Anyway, speaking of some GAMs, we got some info here about the Just Cause 3 Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege Game Ready Driver. 359.06 Wickel driver was released yesterday, which was bringing in SLI profile enhancements for Rainbow Six Siege. No SLI support, though, for Just Cause 3, according to Andrew Burns down in the comments.
Do you need it?
Older
Joker
systems
does, man. He's got 290
No. I can run it at 1445, but I think about the people that maybe have 560s in SLI because they had a 560 and they waited 2 years and they couldn't afford to upgrade to a whole new card. So I'll just put another 560 for $100 and slap it in there, and then they've got a pretty decent system. But then something like this happens, now I can't run this.
Yeah, face bump. Oh.
Yeah.
So for those, a lot of people are running SLI like that. I see them all the time. My comments asking about SLI because they run older SLI systems just for that reason.
Isn't it actually an engine problem though?
Yeah, it's an engine problem.
Yeah. Do you want to move straight into that? Or?
Well, it all goes into this together. It's fine. We can talk about the driver all within it together. But it's the the engine seems to be some compatibility issues with multi-GPU solutions, so Crossfire is not working either. And there was a follow-up after the whole thing with Andrew Burns on the GeForce comments saying that, technically any game can support SLI. Well, that's true. Any game could support multi-GPU, but the engine still has to support it. So if the engine doesn't support it, then the game's never going to support it regardless of whether you want to say technically any game can. It's really a silly statement to make. So it just looks like no SLI support is ever coming to Just Cause 3.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically it probably could, and you might get like a 20% boost. So it's like, they're going to waste all their time doing that.
Yeah.
So
it's just what I've been noticing. It's just this year, it seems it's like a really bad year for SLI users, man. We've been getting we've been getting it's like we had a good run going for a good while. Like 2013 and 2014 were some pretty good years for SLI, I got to be honest. But recently we've been starting to have issues with drivers, compatibility with G-Sync, a lot of new games coming out and either not supporting it or having bad scaling at launch. Rainbow Six Siege, for instance, right now, on paper, when you're looking at your stats, it looks like it's scaling really well, like 90% usage on each card. But the performance gain is only about maybe 5 to 10% at most. And it really doesn't scale up as far as what the FPS should be. You should be getting way more than that. It should be getting 100 plus frames, but it really just doesn't go much higher than around 90. And most of the time, it's hovering just around 60.
Yeah.
And that's...
I've always
wondered
what happens to, like, there's the talk of the, Fury X2, which is, 2 dies on the same card, right? But it really acts like 2 video cards, even though it's in one slot. Like, I wonder what happens in those scenarios.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah, I mean,
right,
probably
like,
one of the
like
GPUs
the 690
work then.
Yeah.
Oh, it works. Well, it works the same way because it's still 2
Yeah.
GPUs. It's just on a single PCB.
Yeah.
That's all. It doesn't handle it any faster. It's just the convenience of having one card.
Yeah, but I wonder which one would cut off.
What do you mean?
Like which GPU wouldn't be working?
Oh, well, they're when you look at them in your system, they're numbered just like a normal SLI system. It just
Okay,
like
so
a 690
gets
shows
the-
up as 681, 682. Like my buddy Kurt had a quad SLI, 2 690s in his system, and it would just show up as 681, 234. Yeah, and if he was having SLI issues, he would have to disable 3 of them, and so then sometimes he'd have 3 of them running and then one dedicated to PhysX. On something like Metro Last Light is a pretty beast setup.
See, that
but it also,
sucks. I mean,
it brought a whole lot of issues. 4-way SLI is just not worth it, is what he learned from that.
I don't know if you paid money for that. See, that's why I've always been one graphics card. I get no problems with games. Like, I even updated to Windows 10 like last week. I forgot to mention in personal news, but I had problems initially, and then I just reinstalled stuff, did tweaks. I still got a problem where my icons on the desktop just reset at random. I've got to look into that. But yeah, like besides a few little bugs, I haven't had bugs while playing games. So
Yeah.
one graphics card for the win.
I have gone back to the one graphics card method as well, because as it turns out, one 980 Ti is more than sufficient for me.
It's good, yeah.
It is. It's good enough for 1440p in most games, but then there's some of those games that come along where you just need that little extra oomph just to be able to put all the settings up, and you're just like, yeah, okay, now
because
I've got that.
you gotta have the little like particle effects and all the god rays turned to max, right? You gotta have that.
If I don't have those set to max minus Nvidia GimpWorks features, I'm not a happy person.
Yeah. You just like give me my coffee now.
I'm just waiting for Star Citizen, then I'll decide what 3-way setup I'm gonna have to run.
Gonna need dual Pascal GPUs running it at 4K, 144 hertz.
See, I think one Pascal GPU will be amazing.
Actually, I want a 21 by 9 5K by 2K monitor.
Depends. Anyway,
that'd be legit.
Okay. Next topic here. We're still on the topic here. Just Cause 3 engine.
we pretty much nipped that in the bud on the SLI solutions. Basically, it doesn't work. Don't expect it to work.
Yeah, so this won't work with SLI or Crossfire. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're out of luck. Bad luck.
Yeah, so
we bought those 2 graphics cards.
All right, so let's go to the next one. This one I was really excited about. It was the title story for the episode. So if you guys were waiting for this in chat, Red Dead Redemption 2, there's a rumor that it might be coming out. Some fans had been asking about it during a Reddit AMA with Danny Ross, who is a previous employee of Rockstar, I should say. And they asked about what Rockstar's next game might be, and he responded by saying, "Really, dumbass, really 2." That's all he said. And if you look at the letters that they start with, RDR2, so we Red Dead Redemption 2, which really gets me excited. We don't know if that's going to be 2016, 2017. My hope, and I've said this in the past, I really want to see the first Red Dead get remastered for the new consoles and PC next year, and then see Red Dead Redemption 2 come out the following year, and maybe on the first one, maybe they could bundle in like a multiplayer beta or something like that, something with the remastered edition. That maybe put that out for $40. That would be, I'd pick that up, no questions asked. Like make a collector edition, I'll buy that too. It's like I loved Red Dead Redemption on 360.
I watched my brother play it. It looked pretty cool.
It was amazing. Did you play it, Tim?
Yeah. I didn't play it. I just
No,
watched my brother
I've
play.
never played that game.
Oh, it's so good. This was
Jumping on the horse.
Rockstar's best game by far, in my opinion.
I've never been a big like Western.
It's pretty good. It looks pretty good. Like for a PlayStation 3, man, it looked awesome.
Well,
what
I could say is like when you play it, it's the game you never thought you knew you needed until you play it, and then you sit down and you play it, you're just like, this is awesome. Just like I am Clint Eastwood, I am a fucking outlaw. Like let's do shit, let's do it. It was good. It was and then all like the side activities. It's like all these other games, like Far Cry 3 and all these games, like Ubisoft Assassin's Creed games now that try to do open world side content are all doing it wrong. This game did it wrong. It was side stuff that made you want to do it. It wasn't just let's just throw this stuff in to pad out your game time so that you can have a higher game time clock on Steam at the end of the day. It's like no, it was
just
good
some
quality
worthless-
content. And that's what was great.
But
about it.
I love doing the side quests like in an RPG where you get the item from it. Like you get this bonus sword and you're like, yeah, I'm so glad I did that side quest.
Well, it's like the original Fables, like Fable 1, Fable 2. Both of those had, like good side quests that you wanted to do because it like actually affected the gameplay. But I still think Assassin's Creed, the three, number 2s, those were
all the Ezio ones. You mean right, the Ezio trilogy? Yeah, those were good.
Back before Ubisoft was crap.
Yes,
those actually had like good side quests to go do, and like, but not even things that were side quests. They had like go find this special dungeon and go get that extra piece for your your sword or your gauntlet or whatever.
Yep.
I think that's the way to do it. Don't put huge quest lines in front of people. Do side quests that affect kind of aesthetics or gameplay or extra things like that. Instead of like, hey, here's this. Travel to here and do this huge quest line and then come back.
Also,
and then we'll give you a high five.
Also, this is imperative because we saw this in Assassin's Creed Unity. Don't make some of the side content so bad that it turns into grinding that you could alleviate by depositing real cash into Ubisoft bucks, because they have done things like that in many games, and that just completely ruins it. No one wants that shit.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, that was like Assassin's Creed 3, right? The start.
It was like, hey, you could do all of this, or you could just deposit money now, and you can just not have to do all that stuff, and you can still get the reward at the end of the day. It's like, oh, geez, thanks, guys. Thanks.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. That's like the next thing we got to geek out about this week, because it looks like Platinum Games, which are awesome developers. They made the Transformers Devastation this year. They've made the Bayonetta titles, Vanquish, awesome games. And they do fighting combat right in this type of genre. So them taking control of a Ninja Turtles license, that's music to my ears. And I really hope they have that song too that you were just singing, Brian.
That
needs to be that's essential. That has to be in there.
Yeah,
it has to. Yeah, I love Turtles games, man. If they can do this right, oh yeah, instant buy.
I was instantly thinking of the old arcade panel game of the four-player.
I'm thinking of the
four-player side scroller. It was basically an exact clone. They also had the one that was the Simpsons one. It was just all the same side-scrolling beat 'em up game.
Yeah,
but it was just like, you played that and like You're like I think I was like 10 years old. It was like my 10-year-old mom was like, I am Michelangelo. Let's do this.
Yeah, and you're hanging out for a pizza. You're like, oh, hell, slow, I need a pizza.
Yeah,
That was it. It was in the pizza
That game
shop.
You
was-
ninja it. Yeah, like whoever, if you're playing co-op, you like ninja it from the person trying to, like, yeah, there's a pizza. Boom. Oh, what?
Yep, that was the
I needed
pizza.
it
That was
more.
hard too.
I'm a kid, man. I'm
was.
taking that pizza.
It was hard. I remember doing playing that with my friends and trying to beat the Bebop and Rocksteady level. That shit was hard. Just
Yeah,
like,
that
it's
was
like, yes, we
nice
finally
step.
beat them. There was just the right amount of pizza grease on the joystick that day. Seinfeld reference.
What is it? The SNES one's got the crane fight, and then the shredder fight, he splits into images. It's weird.
Yep.
And then the other, I think the NES one didn't have it or something. I forgot. I forgot it anyway.
I don't know.
Turtles. My
Probably
Turtles.
there was a lot of that going on when it would get
Yeah.
the arcade games would get multi-platform releases. Some platforms, for whatever reason, would have certain content restricted for whatever. It could have just been how much storage was available on the discs.
Yeah.
It could just
So,
come
well,
down to that.
I just hope they don't talk too much. I think they always kind of get the Turtles voices wrong. Like, I don't know. I watched the movies. I was like, damn, these Turtle voices kind of
Yeah.
suck.
No,
So
the cartoon, it's the original cartoon. That's the only voices that are ever
Yeah.
acceptable.
that's
And I
it.
like the movies too, the original movies, the first two movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That too, right? Yeah. So it's like go with the original
not
voices,
that third
not the
one.
new
That was
school.
that was bad.
Yeah.
The time
Yeah.
travel.
But it's
was
like-
bad.
It's like the good example here is the Transformers movies. I do not like Transformers, the new ones. I do not like Michael Bay, for the record.
Yeah.
But they
I
got
enjoyed
the
those
guy.
movies.
Yeah, they got the guy that did the cartoon Optimus Prime to do
Yeah.
the movie Optimus, because there is no way that works without his voice.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
That
just
that,
a
that
box.
that character dies with that man basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when
That's it.
then when they try to replace him, it's going to be a sad day. Like you're gonna like in like 20, 30 years, we're gonna see like our kids or our grandkids like watching those cartoons of like a new Optimus Prime. Gonna be like, this is bad. You don't know what you're watching. Let me show you.
Yeah.
Like bring up YouTube in 2050. Like here,
Oh
watch
yeah.
this.
Voice acting is
Get your
so
education on good voice acting, young man.
15K.
Yeah, like I think with a game like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it is important. They have to get it right, like the voice acting. So
Well, I think they will because if you saw what they did with Transformers Devastation, like they nailed the Gen 1 Transformers in that game.
yeah.
Like they have a track record of doing this stuff really well.
Well, that's what I thought. The last Transformers wasn't too bad. Like, so hopefully they do a good job again of it. I thought the three before that were pretty.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, so
meh.
we got another,
Shadow Complex.
Yeah, Shadow Complex. Wanted to talk about this. This game came out on 360. I believe it was exclusively on 360. I don't think it was on PS3, but it was like an arcade title. One of like the first real hits of the Xbox 360 arcade. I remember it was my first arcade I bought on there, and that's kind of what opened up my mind to buying those like cheaper $15 games on there.
Yeah.
Which really really took off on the 360. They did that really well.
And they've
initially.
really killed it on the Xbox One.
Yeah. But this was one of the good ones. This was made by Epic Games, the guys that made Gears of War, and it was kind of like a Metroid-esque game where you would go through levels and you would unlock new abilities or new weapons and be able to go back to previous areas and get into other things. So it was a really good game, a lot of replayability and a good long game for only like $15.
Sorry, someone in the comments said the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hair works. And that got me thinking. Like they'll introduce shell works and drop your performance by half, just for a better shell.
As long as they don't have noses.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
'Cause that's everything that's wrong with the new movie.
Yeah, that movie was not great.
Oh, it'd be interesting to see what kind of crap goes in
Shell
like
works.
game where shell works.
Trademark that now, man. Trademark that. Now.
Yeah,
Trademark it.
that's it.
Copyright. So anyway, did you play the Shadow Complex, Tim? It sounded like you had maybe played it.
I'm sure I have. It doesn't jump out at me. I remember that kind of like the side-scrolling 2.5D,
Yeah.
But this is the stuff that's killing me because it's like back in 2009 and we're remastering games already.
Yeah, I think what's good about this is that it's coming to PC because it was never on PC.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that because new people are going to get to play it that never played it before. So I think that's always a good thing.
It looks pretty good.
If they were just remastering it for the
Yeah.
Xbox One, then I would be like meh. But since it's coming to PC for the first time, that's where this is a big deal to me.
Definitely looks like you could have a lot of fun on those mobile handhelds, like the whatever it is, Nvidia. What's the Shield? That's the one.
Yeah.
Like it
Nvidia
looks like a
Shield.
Shield title. Like that's to me, because like I'd look like I would like one of the few games I'd enjoy on a controller. This would probably be one of them. Like, it doesn't look like it's competitive, but
yeah. I mean, this is going to be this is Epic, so it's going to be Unreal Engine 3, right?
It was on Unreal Engine 3, unless maybe they upgrade it to Unreal Engine 4. That'd be great.
4, yeah. So that's what I'm curious, because Epic is, it says Epic's the one doing it. Yep. So I'm curious if this will be like Epic saying, like, hey, here's a new engine. Here's our side scroller in the new engine, right?
I mean, if it was Unreal Engine 4, they'd probably be making a big point of it now. Like, this is getting the Unreal. Like, it'd be getting more hype, I think.
Well, has it got any hype from Epic, though?
Well, this hasn't even gotten...
It's all rumor.
Well, this isn't even really press coverage for it yet. All that happened is that it was submitted for a PEGI rating, which is the European game rating system. So that it's just basically saying that there's a good chance of this. There was also a case of that with Windows. I know there was a thing submitted to Microsoft for Red Dead Redemption to come to PC, but that was back 3 or 4 years ago. They had submitted something for WICL approval, I think it was. Maybe it was that, I don't know.
But if they've got if they've got something for submission, it means they've already started.
Well, yeah, it would seem so.
So I'd say it'd still be on Unreal Engine 3.
No, we'll see.
It's just, not 3.
It looked good when it would still look good today if it was remastered. With just upgrade the lighting and stuff, make it available in 4K and ultra wide and all that. I think this is one of those games that will look great in ultra wide because it's a side scroller. So Trine looks awesome in ultra wide. So something like this would look good. Yeah.
Yeah, Trine looks really good in ultra wide.
Yep, that's a great game for that. I wanted to play I really wanted to play an old Mario game because I had fantasies of seeing half the level on the screen at once. And I was just like, please let me zoom it out and do the full level on one screen like that. That would be great.
That's it. Get Mega Man on 21x9.
There you go. That's how you do it.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So next gaming topic we had up is Star Wars Battlefront got a new patch this week. Was meant to improve some online performance, physics improvements, things like that, various bug fixes in the game. And also along with this, I know the Battle of Jakku DLC also got released today. It was the free DLC that got bundled with pre-orders. So if you could really call it DLC, it's more or less just content that should have been out at release and they held it back for 2 weeks. It's not really,
I'm going to throw a yawn
DLC,
comment.
is it? It's not really DLC,
yawn.
is it? And I'm already bored of this game. I've uninstalled it. I completely uninstalled it. I was like,
really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. See, I was going to get it for benchmarking, but I was waiting until it came down in price because I don't know. Yeah,
I will probably reinstall it once I get my 4 SSDs in the system tonight. So we'll see. I got those sitting around. So once I have some more storage, I might put it back in.
I mean, it was fun when I played it, but I just think it wasn't worth the price. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, that's So is the DLC is it paid DLC or is it free?
It's free for all pre-orders.
There you go. I mean, way to try and sell new titles. EA.
And by the way, if you bought your key on a key site at half price, that doesn't count as a pre-order.
Damn.
You have to pre-order it from Origin for their $60 price tag, and then you get it for free.
Well, there you go.
So it's like a season's pass for free if you pre-order.
Well, for the one DLC. Well, hopefully it adds new maps at least because, I mean, on release for the 2 biggest game modes, Supremacy and Walker Assault, the only 2 ones that are worth playing, there's only 4 maps on each of those modes. So
to be honest, they're probably struggling, man. They're probably struggling because they would have had to have paid a lot of money for that license, man. That Star Wars license, a lot of money. So they're probably struggling with this game.
Well, I don't know though because I just saw that
they're making Disney a buttload of money.
Well, I just saw that Disney agreed to a deal with them for
10 years.
Was it 10 years exclusive?
Yeah, 10 years exclusivity deal with the EA.
Yeah, but they might have maybe they got too hastily in the decision.
They're marketing and everything in the way this game is. They're making a buttload of cash off this game.
Yeah. Remember too. So here's the thing, and I think the DLC is going to sell the game to a lot of people on the fence because the DLC tells storyline to the movie.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, right? You're not going to know. There's parts of the movie that you're not going to understand what happened unless you go play the game.
Okay, well that's smart.
Or read a website.
Yeah, or read a website. Yeah, read the one guy who bought it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's annoying. I don't think the game is worth the full price at all. But I know they're making a shitload of cash off of a lot of casual players and people that are just Star Wars fans and they want to go play something that makes them feel like they're in Star Wars and they'll get that experience because it does that really well. It's just
true.
it's after that 4 or 5 hours where that wears off, and then you're like, oh, there's really not a whole lot here, and I've already unlocked everything.
Yeah, the only reason I own it is because I got it for free. So
Yeah. I mean,
All right, ladies and gents, we're going to move on to best Fallout 4 mods so far.
yeah, there's it looks like there's a lot of good mods out so far already.
where are my naked mods? Come on.
Yeah.
I did see you can get some like Boston Red Sox underwear and stuff like that. And I also there was the first mod I had actually saw was a David Ortiz mod, but then it had gotten pulled pretty quickly by the MLB. Issued a takedown notice to get taken down, but it looked awesome. There was a video up and it was like playing like old time like baseball music, and he's going around in the David Ortiz outfit, like beating the shit out of like people with a bat. It was awesome. Yeah. And there's the naked mod. Yep, there it is, the nude mod. It's number 15 on this list.
Yeah. Definitely loving the immersive attire fix.
The only one I've gotten so far is the config tool, so that I could tweak FOV and stuff like that easily. That was the only one I've gotten so far, but I will get more eventually.
But yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about
Fallout.
The good thing about Fallout is there's just lots of mods that come out and they do enhance the game a lot. Like, so this is why kind of like another good reason to purchase this game is that the mods do give it new life. So yeah, I'm definitely liking Fallout. That was probably one of probably the best game I've purchased out of all the recent games I've purchased and played.
I agree.
Even though, despite the issues, but it does have the scope there. The game is huge. Yeah. That's what I like.
Yeah, I waited because I was like, I don't know if I want to invest my life in a game. And so I picked it up yesterday, and I'm already like, 9 hours. So
yeah, it's good.
It's just like, but the mod that needs to happen, we were talking about this offline. The mod that needs to happen is a building mod so that when you're putting walls on pre-made foundations, that it snaps to the line.
Yep.
Because my OCD is just going to be like my sanctuary is going to be like just all like concrete pads and nothing else. Because I'm like my OCD just like it doesn't look right, and the roofs all have holes, and
you'll live, man. You'll live.
They need to bring in Gary and have him fucking fix it up, because he did a really good job with that stuff in Rust. So they need to bring Gary over and have him fix the building snapping for them.
Well, or like let you have a different view when you're building.
Oh yeah, like a top-down view would be great.
Yeah.
If you could just go top down and take top down and move around like that, with the mouse control and everything, that'd be awesome. That'd
Fallout
be
City mod, bro.
There you go. Oh man, that's a good idea, bro. You need to get in touch with Bethesda.
Okay.
You need to tell them like what's up.
Well, hey, we all know it'd be much better than SimCity 5.
Just be careful, man. They might. Just be careful, man. If they don't, if you might be leaking something, then they'll blacklist you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were sure it'd be better than that last release of SimCity.
Oh man.
All they have to do is just
can't be much worse
put a
than
potato.
That,
all they have to do is just put a potato on the screen. It's like, hey, this is better.
Right.
You're bringing up bad memories for me, because SimCity is one of my favorite games.
It was so good, on the old school version.
SimCity 2000. I don't know, if you can do better than SimCity 2000. And I was so excited. I was so excited for SimCity 5.
I loved Sim Hospital. That was my favorite, to be honest. I don't know why, but I loved that game when it was released when I was a kid. SimCity, Sim Hospital. Yeah, it was so good. I loved it. But anyway, next topic, guys. You want to move on to Witcher 3 Wild Hunt? First environmental HD texture pack.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Released.
Yeah, this is like basically rounding off the days. We got a bunch of mod stories basically. We had the Fallout one. This one I saw the other day, Witcher 3 is finally getting some good mods. It's had mods coming out ever since the game launched, really.
But increased level of detail, baby.
Yeah, there's two separate mods. There's a texture one, and then there's an LOD mod also that works really well paired with it, and it just improves the overall textures in the game world immensely. Like a lot of stuff just being more detailed, more like sharper, crisp, and looks awesome. I would absolutely put it on. It's only like a 40 megabyte download too. Like definitely download it. I already put it on. It works really well. I didn't see any performance impact with the texture mod, but the LOD mod did drop the frames by a few, but I was still over 60 frames. No problem.
Well, I'm going to give the LOD the nod. Yeah. Well, are we, anything to say about that, really? Like,
I just thought it makes the terrain look just ridiculously. The trees, especially, like the trees and grass.
Yep, and the rock and all that and everything.
Yeah. Looks a lot better, and like the water looks wicked.
Yep.
I mean, it looked good before, but It's crazy awesome now.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's done a good job, man. Love the name.
Yeah, and there's one more mod that we have up here also for Witcher 3. This one overhauls the lighting system in the game, looking to make the lighting a lot better. Like it just looks. The game already looked really good, but people are just making it look really better. And this looks like it also has maybe something that's like sweet effects that kind of lifts the haze off the game a little bit.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It looks
This
like
is
there's
awesome
maybe
for me
some of that.
because I'm yet to play it, so this will be awesome for me.
I mean, some people like it to have that haze over because they think it makes it look more authentic, and some people like it to look a little bit clearer. That's why it's nice to have these mods like this, so you can make up your own decisions.
Yeah. Well, they all look good to me, so I'm going to be like.
Personally, I like the
Hulk Hogan my reps.
I like the clear blue skies and all that. I like it to look nice
Yeah.
and clean.
Yeah,
Like
love your Hulk.
That mountain range looks amazing. Like that's wallpaper material right there.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's actually the Fallout 4. That's the one thing that's been throwing me so far is because everything's like really dirty.
Yeah.
And it's like after playing Witcher, you're like, I want everything to look nice and clean, and
Lush.
no, not in that game.
You want like lush
I see,
polished forests.
you got the lighting article up as well, so we just tied this in with the.
Yeah, I've already gone. Yeah, we've already. That's what
Okay.
we've talked about now. Yeah, it kind of goes together.
Well, I just looked at the next article. I was like, okay, yeah, lighting. Well, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, yeah,
So we're basically finished.
yeah. Basically, yeah. We basically.
Unless you want to talk about Apple removing a jack.
Oh yeah, well that see, like I wanted to talk about that. I mean, that's stupid. I mean, why? Like,
What are
you've
they
got these
thinking?
audio. Well, I mean, like, what you've got audiophile headphones because generally a smartphone has a good DAC on it, and it's generally decent for listening to music onto. So Apple are removing the 3.5 millimeter jack, which just makes no sense whatsoever to me. Like now you got to go buy a proprietary cable.
That's right, and that's why it makes sense to Apple.
Like, yeah, but like, when are people gonna stop buying Apple products?
Well, dude, this has been. I don't know why people always act surprised about this because Apple has been doing this since the beginning of Apple.
I don't know what
Not
you're.
to this scale.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
It's right there. Like it's like, hey, how do you open that iPhone? Oh yeah, proprietary tool. How did you open a Macintosh in 1980?
Yeah.
Proprietary tools.
Yeah, I remember when I got my first what was the first MP3 mobile player?
iPod. Well,
Yeah, the iPod.
for
That's
Apple,
right. The
yeah.
little iPod. I had the mini one. And I was trying to get my music to install on there, and it's just like I've got to use this proprietary software. That were the worst days. It was.
I was a Bill Gates Microsoft fanboy, so I purchased a Zune.
Zune.
I bought a Zune.
Well, that's it. I mean, after that, I just purchased the third party thing where I could just drag and drop my freaking music files on there. How hard is that?
I had some creative MP3 player thing that my mom still uses. It's been like 10 years.
I don't know, but like taking off a 3.5 mil jack is like just stupid because it's everyone uses headphones with a 3.5 mil jack.
I have a theory on this. Honestly, it's because they want to push Beats.
Yeah.
That's probably I think.
And then all Beats headphones will have proprietary jacks. So if you want to own a pair of Beats, you have to own an iPhone.
I wouldn't say they'd go that far. I'd just say they'd push it so Beats come with it by default. You know what I mean? Yeah. So hey, your Beats has got your 3.5 mil jack and it's got your Apple jack.
Yep.
And if you have to buy the cable at $30, but if you get it with the product, it'll come free. Right. Nothing's ever free, ladies
or
and gentlemen.
Bluetooth, right? Or they'll really push Bluetooth on Beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't know, guys. Yeah, that's it. Someone in the comments said Apple's jacking off. I agree. So.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, so do you want to go to comments? We'll go to the questions, guys. Ask Timmy some questions because he's
someone already asked him a question. Someone asked if he was Wendell's twin brother.
So we get asked that question a lot. There's actually a photo up on Twitter or Instagram where we're standing next to each other. So for a long time when Wendell didn't show his face.
I know, that's what I was going to say. People thought you were him.
I would get like 20 comments a week about like, are you Wendell? So first thing I will say is there is no way I'm Wendell because I'm not that smart.
I don't think anyone is.
No, I've met Wendell a few times.
He's very knowledgeable in the actual hardware and the the real core side of things. Once you go down to
Yeah.
the architectural level, he's pretty knowledgeable about that. Yeah. I'd love to have him on the show too. It'd be good to have him on.
That's why you have to give Logan credit for being able to do that show with him, just because he can actually keep up with Wendell. That's a feat in its own right. I don't think I can keep up with that guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, Wendell was out here and we went and had lunch and hung out for a while, and there's like I'll hang with him for a while, and then he starts like, it's like, well, there it went over my head, and I'm just like sit there and nod, and it's like yes.
And
Wendell.
then did you hear about the car crash on the news, Wendell? It just changed the topic out of nowhere.
Car crash on.
Well, actually, that car is built like this.
Yeah. Actually, I'm running this engine in my car, Wendell. And then he's like, oh, well, that engine's like a V10 that's got like the cylinders are kind of like this size. And you're like, whoa, okay. Next topic. What about bushwalking, Wendell? Well, if you look at the stars, you can get, people just say, usually look at the stars for directions, but you get a complete and good view when you're in pitch black. Have you ever met a bushwalker that's like full knowledgeable on the outback? It's pretty crazy, actually.
Well, we're not from Australia, so no.
Yeah,
well, okay.
exactly.
He's talking about bushwalkers like it's a normal thing.
I just did myself.
It's like, have you ever been on a walkabout and just no, we've not been on a walkabout.
Have you ever been on a walkabout?
Have you ever been on a walkabout to the 7-Eleven?
Yeah, all the time, mate.
It's the walkabouts we used to do.
Go to the walkabout and get a toasty.
That's it.
Get a nice Vegemite sandwich.
All right, guys, we're taking questions now, so just ask your questions in the comments section below. Crikey. All right, so DX12, it'll help an FX8350. Yeah, it will. It will definitely help an FX8350. I think the AMD CPUs are going to be the ones that will be helped the most by DX12. Yeah, so, I mean, DX12 will help everything. It won't just help 8 cores, it'll help 4 cores, it'll help everything, because the CPU overhead's going to be lower. So that'd be a good thing.
Do we have any announced DX12 games yet?
Unreal Engine 4, apparently that's DX12. But, like, what was that game you were talking about, that Ethan or something?
Oh, yeah, that's already DirectX 12. Ethan, Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Oh, okay.
That got a DirectX 12 update a little while ago. It looks really nice. Tried it out on my Windows 10 test rig. That's how bad Windows 10 is for me right now. That it's only worthy of my test rig. it's still under testing. That's the problem. It's still under beta testing for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to fully exhaust that 1 year option of getting it for free.
Yeah. Well, like Win 10 in gaming too is, I've been using it more and more. Unfortunately, one of the primary things I do is TS into machines. It's a terminal service, right, Razin? And like Windows 10 is just horrible. I don't know what the deal is. I gotta play around with it. But for normal day-to-day stuff, I really haven't seen any massive difference between Windows 10 and Windows 8.
Yeah, for the day-to-day stuff, my only problems was like having to learn a few new aesthetic changes and where a couple things got moved to, like when I was like right-clicking and I wanted to go to screen resolution and it wasn't where I wanted it to be. I'm just like, how do I change my monitor's refresh rate in here? It's like I couldn't find it. It's like I had to go into the driver, and that involved me using the AMD Catalyst drivers, and that wasn't very pleasant either.
はい、じゃあ次の質問どうしよう。ブライアン、日本語話してください。今日本語話しますよ。
Someone wanted him to say something in Japanese.
Yeah, they wanted me to talk Japanese. I mean, I don't know, like...
Someone wanted to know, how difficult is it for software engineers to implement DirectX updates towards Linux? Would any of you consider using the OS if available? I think
here's the trick. Hang on. Let me answer that for you.
Actually,
I was going to say that's directed at you because I have no idea.
In my unofficial Microsoft, this is me not speaking for Microsoft, you will never see DirectX 12 on Linux.
はい、わかりました。
Because it's a Microsoft technology.
そうか。
True.
Right?
True, pretty much.
It's like you will never see like
not
PhysX
native
on,
support anyway. You're
right.
never going to see native support.
You'll never see PhysX on an AMD card.
People might figure out workarounds to get it. People may figure out workarounds and ways to get it to work on there, but it'll never be natively supported.
Right.
Doesn't matter, it's proprietary, man.
Yeah,
Microsoft will take you to court.
Well, okay. I won't say never. Never is a strong word because you never know. Well, no, I mean
But
seriously,
99.99% sure.
you never know. But
Bill Gates could
whole
buy
reason,
Linux.
Yeah, the whole reason that the DirectX 12 came out was because of the demand from GPU companies and gamers and things like that for extra stuff in Windows.
Yeah.
It's money that Microsoft spent that realistically they're not getting back, right? I mean, DirectX is a huge money hole for Microsoft. They make no money from it directly, right? So the fact that maybe they open source it, I don't know, right? I don't work for that team, so I don't really know, but you never know. It could be 3-4 years from now when Linux gets bigger or something. You never know.
Yeah.
It might. But the architecture right now is architected at Windows 10. They're all Windows 10 drivers. So I don't know,
Yeah. Which is why we won't also see it on Windows 8 or Windows 7.
Yeah, I would never say never there as well, but I definitely think it'll be
Unlikely.
unlikely.
I think they want to. I
out.
think they want to use that as a reason to get people to upgrade.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the thinking there is once the gamers upgrade, everyone else will follow.
Yeah.
Because we kind of lead the charge with a lot of tech changes and stuff like that. With OS changes, tech gamers are always leading that charge because we're such a big and vocal part of the community.
Yeah, gamers or porn.
Gamers are porn. Yep, gamers and porn. That's the Tropic Thunder analogy right there. They knew best in that movie.
We got asked about internal sound card versus an external DAC. It depends on your headphones. I always say that if you've got really good headphones, you're going to need a good DAC amp to support those good headphones. If you're just running, portables or whatever, easy to drive headphones, onboard audio is usually good enough.
Yeah, my thought has always been is if you're running speakers, I would do a sound card. If you're doing headphones, an amplifier DAC.
I've got my X1s here, and now these need they need a good DAC and amp. Otherwise, you're not bringing the full life out of them. My L1s, on the other hand, they sound really good on the onboard audio and on anything else. So
my recommendation would be don't buy just a DAC. Buy
a DAC amp.
But not even just a DAC amp. Buy a something that has XLR inputs as well.
Okay.
Don't spend a couple $100 on just a DAC and an amp, right? Get something that has like really high quality Yamaha preamps. I run a Steinberg.
But that'll run you back a lot of money just compared to something like an O2.
Yeah,
like the O2.
No way.
What if you're not looking to run up a mic ever though?
My Steinberg UR22 is cheaper than a Mayflower O2 DAC.
Really?
Yeah, and it's got better, and I think it has better preamps. So
wow.
Well, that's really if you're
that's
looking. That's really if you're looking to hook up a microphone too, though. Not everyone's looking to do that.
Yeah, but why not? Why not buy something that has that ability?
Yeah, it definitely is nice. It definitely is nice
because, and I guarantee you, the amp in this is better than the O2 DAC.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about mic stuff specifically, where they'll say should I go get a Blue Yeti, and I'll be like, why?
Yeah,
it's like you can go get a $50 audio interface and like a $70 XLR mic and blow it out of the water.
Or you can get a B2 Pro for $40 like I did. Woo!
There you go. See, Mike's he's got good audio because he's hooked up to a audio interface. What are you using, a Xenix, Brian?
I'm using a Xenix. Upstairs I've got the 122. I got that for $20, and that's sort of why I'm disagreeing with Timmy, because you can get the DAC amp dedicated, and then you can just get a cheap interface, and like that sounds really good, the one upstairs. So
well, it's good if you need an all-in-one package, and you are planning to do like any audio production, like maybe YouTubing or commentary streaming. Then it would definitely be the way to go.
But one thing I will say about any sort of DAC amp solution, you got to be careful too. I found onboard audio in general has the best latency. Like I've noticed this in COD, especially in COD. When I had some USB interface, and it's like you noticed like the sounds were delayed. Like it wasn't a world's difference, but it was noticeable. Yeah. And I was like, damn, I went back to my onboard audio. I could actually reliably use sound. Yeah. So to position people, so that's something you got to think about. Is actually there is latency involved with.
But that's where if you buy something that has audio software coming with it, I can adjust the latency on my UR22. So if I notice that games are like just slightly out of sync, I can actually go change the audio sync, like in the driver of the UR22.
But even then, I've found that onboard audio still is unmatched for latency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like that's what I've just found in my own like subjective madness testing. But I mean, it depends. Right? I'd love. See, that's the thing, right? It's hard to test. That's probably one of the harder things to test, right? Is the actual true latency of sound. You'd have to
Well,
have
and
like what?
audio in general is massively subjective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
it is
everybody.
the most.
That's why,
subjective thing.
like, I mean, I run. I still use these Funk headphones because
Oh, you're funky.
for some reason I like, my ears like the audio response of these headphones. I mean, they're not the best headphones ever, but like for me, the way I hear, I like these over, a whole bunch of really much more expensive headphones.
Yeah.
Now when I'm editing, I have a pair of, like really expensive AKGs that I use. Because it has a really flat sound profile. So I really can find if there's noise in my recording, I can find it. Versus these will just totally mask it, right?
Yeah.
It just filters it out. So
There you go.
Yep. It's very subjective when it comes to headphones. It's why I find it hard sometimes to do headphone reviews because you want to give objective information, but a lot of it is so objective.
yep.
So we got best looking game. I'm going to say Crisis 3.
Best looking game,
Game.
Witcher 3.
Yeah, Joker's probably right. I haven't played Witcher 3 yet.
Yeah. Probably Witcher 3. Especially with the texture packs that just came
Yeah,
out.
well, see, I haven't seen it yet, so I will see it, and then I will.
Even just vanilla though, because you got to give credit to the open world aspect. Like Crisis 3 is not open world.
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing it through at the moment, so I'm in that big open part.
Yeah, it's open instances, but it's not an open
Yeah,
world. You
that's
basically
true.
you come into like a large clearing, and it's like, okay, you can attack this any way you want, stealthily, head on, snipe, whatever you want to do, you could do it. But
Yeah.
it's just really closed off instances, and once you move on from there, you don't go back there. So having
Yeah.
like one
I saw-
large world is.
Got asked if USB mics are good on a budget. Yeah, they are. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Like I can't critique someone if they're on a budget. I mean, there was like that Behringer C1U that I had come through. That was like I got that for like 30, 40. I forgot how much I got that for, but it was really good on a budget. Like you didn't have to get a preamp or anything. Just plugged it in via USB. You were good to go. So yeah, USB solutions can be pretty good. At the end of the
There's
day,
actually-
sorry.
I was going to say there's actually some like if you want to step up a little bit and spend a little more money, the USB to XLRs aren't bad. I mean, there's some of them now that are coming down like $30 too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got, the, do you even delid Joker? Nah, you wouldn't want to delid Sky. I'm not even going near deliding Skylake.
I'm not that fussed about performance speed deliding
Yeah,
processors.
I would if the PCB was the same size. Like, I'd definitely be up for it. But they've made the PCB thinner. So there is a good risk that you'll, like, just crack your PCB when you go to delid this time around. I'm not risking that whatsoever. Like, not on a, $300 CPU? Nah. I don't know.
You have to be crazy, and it really needs to be the CPU for your daily driver of a system, and you have to really, really value that extra speed you may get.
Yeah, and if you're not liquid water cooling with like 1,000 millimeters of rad space, then don't even bother.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no if you can't get the temperature of that die like 15, 20 degrees cooler than you normally would, there is absolutely no reason. Now, the heat spreaders...
For me, I like 10 degrees, I'd do it. Yeah, 10 degrees. Probably even 5, I'd probably do it.
Well, but it depends, right? Because, so, say you get, 10 degrees, but you can't on, Skylake, I haven't even looked at the overclocking guides on Skylake yet. I mean, what does the overclocking look like? If you can't dump a bunch more voltage into those chips, then it's not worth it at all. Right. The only thing I would delid personally is an X99 chip.
Yeah,
But
that's the only thing that would be worth it, really.
Because you can get cooling to all like 8 cores. That makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Right. It's a much more substantially sized chip. It's actually worth doing versus, the Skylakes. But the Skylake, I've heard this. What was the 3770s, right? Had the crappy compound.
It's the Ivy bridges, and then
Yeah.
also the Haswell
I've
Gen
heard-
1s. Haswell Gen 1s were not any better either.
I've heard the Skylakes, they're running into the same thing. I've seen a couple of them delided so far, and it's just like gooped on, and there's way too much. And
Was pretty bad, eh? But I thought some of the videos where people were like saying the temp differences, like look at this one core, it's like 99 degrees, and then the others are like 60. That guy's just like loosened one of the screws up in the corners on his cooler. It's like, let's be honest, I know exactly what you're doing in that friggin' video. You've just loosened up your heat sink to make it look good on video.
Well, as you've
So
proven, Vegemite as a thermal compound.
Yeah, it's what I mean. Like, you know, that guy clearly didn't mount. Like, I saw one video where someone had a core. Like, it's like, this is a load of shit. So, I mean, but yeah, on that note, your cores, like, generally you can get like a pretty like 5-degree difference between different cores. That's just the inherent to the actual design of the chip. But there's, I mean, getting like a 20-degree difference in some of your cores, that just means someone's loosened up your cooler on one corner or some shit. He must have done it pretty freaking articulately. Like, anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, we're running out of time here. Coming up on
we're running out of time, and we got like there was actually a few questions. Sorry, if I missed questions, I'm sorry this week.
Yeah, we ran on a little bit longer this week than usual.
Yeah.
We went longer than normal anyway. So.
Special guests.
Yeah, special guest. Yeah. It's Tim's fault.
So,
well, it's harder when three people are talking about a subject, right?
Well, yeah, it's always going to take at least 33% longer, right?
That's it. All right, guys. Well, so get your questions in. Also, I mean, if you guys want to get questions asked as well, we do have the TGW Twitter page as well, so we'll definitely take questions from there. We have to get that rolling properly.
Yeah,
so
probably. We need to get someone responsible to take control of the account. Probably.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be hitting up Joanne Tech Lover to come on the show as well.
Yeah, we'll try to get her for next week.
Tweet her.
Yeah.
Tweet her.
A lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
At Joanne Tech Lover.
Yep. But Joanne, you better get on this tech show right now.
Yep.
Actually, what it'll be is a bunch of 13-year-old boys like, you should come on.
Bunch of creepers. All right, anyway, so we're going to wrap down the show, guys. Thank you for coming to hang out with us this week, and thanks for Tim again for coming on. Be sure to check him out on his YouTube channel, /TimmyTechTV, and hit up that contest if you haven't already. It's the first link down in the description below, giving away a whole AMD PC build, and we will catch you guys next time.
That's it, a whole AMD PC build.
Ta-da!
Hurrah!